I know. You're trying to open this door. It doesn't open. I found that out. Great. Welcome, everyone, to the Dewey Beach Marketing Committee. Let's get going and start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, let's go around and do roll call.
You want me to start?
Yeah, you start.
Alex Cedric here.
Okay, Alex.
You going to say yourself?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you
I
did?
said Alex.
Oh,
There you
Alex.
go. Absolutely.
Okay. Janine DePaula Stevens.
Maria Winkler.
Martinez.
Wait, sorry. Okay, go ahead, Ellen.
Ellen Winkler.
Okay.
Armel Monfiletto.
Excellent. And Commissioner Bauer. Bill?
Bill's over town manager. Yep.
Thank you very much. I think Ashley, you're on the line as well.
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. Okay, first, did I miss anyone? And Kate running the show. Okay, so discuss and possibly vote to approve the April 19th meeting minutes. Do I hear a motion?
Motion
Second.
Motion to what?
to approve.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Great. And also, do I hear a motion for the adoption of the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Ellen. All in favor?
Aye.
It's a gorgeous day. I'm trying to get us out of here fast. We're getting work
I'm gonna
done.
say, you guys are good. You're efficient.
We're trying. Okay, we'll see. We got a lot of, discussion points here. Okay, so a sign to be installed on the Bay Walk.
Yeah,
Town Manager, Bill, you want to?
Yeah, so the sign was delivered today. It was delivered over to West Rehoboth to our warehouse. Our maintenance folks, I was out 3 weeks ago when Commissioner Bauer brought this to me. We went down, we looked at the pier. We need to really get a good determination on where we want to actually put it out on the pier. Little different of opinion, how far out on the pier should it go? Should it come in a little bit? So I think, I'm looking for some guidance from anybody, from the commissioner, from anybody on this committee on exactly where that sign should go out on the pier. Now, for Christmas or for the holiday, they had a tree out at the very end and a lot of people had their pictures taken out near the tree. You could put that sign out near the end, or you could put it halfway, but we need some guidance on where to put it. We are going to use 4x4s, and then he's probably going to have to order some brackets, and he was waiting for the sign to come in to see what type of brackets he would use. It's an 8-foot sign. We have to have it so high in the air. So then that's when the 4x4s will come in. But then at the end, we're going to have metal brackets, we think, that the sign will sit down into on the corners where it comes in. You've got the pictures. I don't know if Kate has those or not to show everybody.
Is it double-sided?
It is double-sided.
How high is it going to be about?
Well, the 4x4s are going to be 10 foot.
I'm thinking from cell phones, right? So if you think about where you want to stand, if you want to have.
We can make it lower. We can just cut down the 10 feet and make it 9 feet. But those are the type of things that need to be, because last thing I want to do is put it up and then somebody say, hey, how come you put it there and you didn't put it out there? Why is it this high when it should have been this high, right?
Is it possible to have it at the start of where the extension is so that it's not a restricted view for anyone that wants to walk to the pier, but they can still then get the effect of the selfie as well as the background of the bay and the sign?
Yeah, we can put it wherever you want it.
Where do we think that's going to be the best? Is it further forward? Because you also don't want to crowd out the sunset too.
Yeah,
Lighthouse, yeah, clear view.
yeah.
I'm trying to think of how high they sit.
Hey, let me chime in on this a little bit, because it's 8 foot wide. So if it's held up on each side, I talked to the company that made it. It's a very strong, what's that material called? Some sort of composite. It's not wood. But the concern may be, if we had some high winds over a sustained period of time, like we just experienced, would that thing crack in the middle? So we got to be cognizant of that. So the thought was, we could try it out. If we did it at the end, it would be easier to put like a thin metal post coming up off of the, off of the decking that we have there to reinforce it in the middle. But unfortunately, you don't want to do that because that's going to be right in the middle of people's sunsets pictures. So we're going to try to do it without that, but that's just the thought. So, I think we can figure that out once we have it up there. But, I think we have to make it, so it's going to last us a long time too. So.
Hey, Paul, was there any discussion? I mean, I think it obviously made sense to put it out on the walk, but would you put it anywhere else? I mean, is there, do you put it against one of the fences so it's not the walkway? It doesn't block kind of that natural sunset where the
Or
tree
how about the
goes?
gazebo? Could we do
I
the
mean, the idea is
gazebo?
that that's the backdrop for a sunset. And I think
I mean,
when most people get their
I like how it
sunset
looks
picture,
here.
they take it near the water. I mean, you can
I
put
think
it
it's really
anywhere, but-
pretty. I mean, it's really nice. I'm just wondering, you have me a
Yeah,
little
Kate, can you put
worried
the
on,
picture up?
you have me a little worried, Paul, on it being strong enough.
Yeah, well, the guy walked on it, so he's 150 pounds. He walked on it when it was on an angle and it was fine. So,
Bill, do you feel like, is there reinforcements that you put on there? Or would you unscrew it if there was a bad storm?
I don't think we would go take it down. I mean.
yeah, I don't think so either.
The posts we're doing for the Civic League that we were going to put at the end of each street. The only reason we didn't put them in was because Denrec was still working on the post, and if we'd have put those things in, they would have all gotten washed out.
Yeah.
So I think what we really need to do, Don got it today. He's taking some measurements on it, and then we need to go down there and determine where you want it mounted and how high you want it mounted. And then Don can go ahead and look at that. The way it looks there in the picture with the 4x4s running up on both sides, that would definitely hold it. I know the Commissioner Bauer's concern is the middle, but that would definitely hold it. But he was talking about like a U-shaped bracket that the sign would sit down and in, and it would have two metal pieces that would run up the sides where he's got the 4x4s there that would hold it in place.
In this visual, is it midway?
Yeah,
That's a midway visual, yeah.
I agree with you, Janine. I like it. I think it allows people if they don't want the picture, but I also think that anyone who's taking a group shot, it's going to be in it.
And the fact that you can either side, so you could stand at the end of the pier and
Yeah.
shoot back toward the lighthouse if you wanted.
Is there someone brought up the lighthouse. Is there any issue with, do we have to give them notice or anything? I mean, it's
a public, it's our pier.
Okay.
I mean, they've been very cooperative with everything else. I think it's going to bring more people to their
Yeah.
establishment, right?
Yeah, I agree.
with that, because we've been talking, I think, Bill, since you started, was the idea of a focal point in town to be
Yeah,
able to take a picture of.
Yeah.
This looks like.
yeah. Paul's really been in the point on that with a couple other folks.
Anybody else have any other thoughts? Or-
Do you have the other picture, Kate, the actual ones that they were holding up the other day? And this was the drawing.
Yeah, it's one of the last ones. If you go to the very bottom, there you go,
There.
right there. There it is.
It's really nice looking.
Yeah, it came out great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this guy here on the far right, he's about 150 pounds, and he walked on it when it was up in the air, and it held him at 150 pounds. So it's going to hold up the wind, but I'm just trying to think down the road. Does that thing get weaker as it gets older?
Good.
And you said it's on both sides, the same?
Same on both sides.
Pretty cool.
I liked it midway. I thought that looked nice.
Yeah, that would be my personal preference. But
Yeah, I think that works the best.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there anything you need from us? Realizing this is not official item, it sounds like the group all thinks midway.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
now,
mean,
something to think about. So how tall was our Christmas tree that we put up?
if it gives us guidance, I don't know. It was at least a 10-foot tree. though.
Yeah. I think it was.
Yeah, that
We're
means
up
that
on
sign's
ladder,
going to
right?
block the tree later on. You'd rather have it behind the tree, I think.
Yeah, I think midway would be fine.
Yeah, I will tell you, when we used to put up the tree, we pushed it up as far back as we possibly could go, and it would hit the tree then. Okay. Carmel, do you have any comments on it? Any thoughts on this?
Well, no, I mean, I agree. Like, you just want to place it so it's not going to obstruct the view of the sunset when people are sitting at the lighthouse. You don't want to have to like duck around it. I think that's really going to be key, but it's hard to say until you're actually out there and, holding it up in a few different areas. And I think, as far as it being stable, I would worry more about the posts and the bolts, loosening over time than I would the sign. But that's just something that could be reinforced every year, right? Just every year, go out, check it.
Full maintenance on it, sure.
Yeah. I think most of us are over that way every now and then, so we can always check on it.
Mhm.
We'll keep an eye on
Okay.
it.
Excellent. Thank you, Commissioner Bauer. This is awesome. Are
You're
we,
welcome. No, thank you, guys.
well, and now comes the payment, right? So the beautification funds, what is the total cost of the sign?
It was approximately $4,300. I don't have it in front of me. We may be getting reimbursed for that. I'm still, Commissioner Bauer and I are still kind of working on that. We may get reimbursed in the long run for it, though. Okay.
How much is in our beautification fund? Right
Yeah,
now?
so I asked Sheena to provide that information and she's working on it right now. But when I checked, it was around $12,000.
Okay, would you like a vote at this time, or should we come back? We're probably not going to meet again until October. Is there anything, do you want us?
I think this was brought up in Commissioner Bauer, tell me, wasn't it brought up at one of our commissioners meeting? And I don't know if it was an actual vote, but it was discussed, correct, on funds?
Well, no, we were using Senator Lopez's funds, but, or CTF funds on this that Senator Lopez approved. So what we need to do, though, is we need to pay for it now until we get those CTF funds sent to us. So once we get the CTF funds, then we move the money that we paid for back into the beautification dollars.
So for the group that are new committee members, just to provide some context, so the beautification fund was created to help really make Dewey Beach beautiful. I mean, exactly what it sounds. So if it was flowers or something else, but a lot of where the funds came from, and Bill, please correct me if I'm wrong, was from the selling of the signs and fundraising. So this money is set aside for these kind of things. Is there anything I'm missing?
In beach mats, I think Ashley's on, right? Beach mats is part of that? The selling of the, yeah, that's part of it
So
also.
sorry, the beach mats. Okay.
Yeah, the beach mats also.
Okay. So Commissioner Bauer, what would you like to suggest for this bullet item?
How is this on our agenda? Is it a vote on this? or-
Well, it is. It's and this was done a little while ago, but it was discussed and possibly vote to recommend to utilize beautification funds to pay for the Baywalk signs, but it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
if that's how it's on the agenda, then we can take a vote to pay for it. And then, I'm confident the CTF funds are going to follow shortly. So, no, I'm not worried about that. It's just we need to pay for it now so we get to sign up for Memorial Day.
It's to recommend that it gets put in front of the commissioners so they can, that's the way it says, it's recommended. Because I don't think the committee can actually approve the spending of the money. It's recommended that the commissioners, I'm pretty
Alright.
sure that's the way it's
Then we'll
supposed to
do
work.
it that way. Let me look.
Right.
Let me look.
So we don't need to vote then?
No, I think you do, like the
If we don't
infrastructure
vote, it's got to
we
committee.
have to vote for a recommendation.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
sir.
So and just so you know, we got to get this correct the first time, but we're going to have to edit it multiple times. So based on past experience. So who would like to make a motion on this? And I'm looking at you, Janine.
I'll make a motion to use beautification funds to pay for the Baywalk sign.
Before anyone says anything, do you mind if I amend it to say a motion to recommend that the commissioners vote?
That we can have a motion to recommend that the commissioners use beautification funds to pay for the Baywalk sign.
And I second that vote to recommend.
Thank you. Just so you guys know, if you second it early, we're gonna have to redo the whole thing. So motion that, okay, great. I hear a second. All in favor?
I
Okay. Excellent. Okay, the welcome pack. So Commissioner Bauer, do you want to provide an update? I know you're gonna discuss it with the other commissioners.
Or I can, Paul, if you want me to.
Or Ashley.
Yeah, we have some samples too. Do you want me to start with the samples or do you want to update?
So I'll start by just stepping in. Ashley and I were going back and forth, just trying to, identify a few things after our last meeting. And Ashley, feel free to jump in, but I think, I know you're driving. After going through a whole bunch of things, Ashley did so much work on this, but she came back to the idea of perhaps we need to keep it simple. And in keeping it simple, providing a you know, in this case, it's a cooler, but it's actually really cool. It has solar charging capabilities. It has 2 mesh pockets on either side. There's also.
Hey,
if you
guys,
hold
I
it
can't hear anything.
36 cans.
Wait.
Hey, Kate, I'm not
Ellen,
hearing
can you
anything
hear?
online.
I can hear everything just fine.
Ellen, can you hear okay?
I can.
Yeah, we can hear you, Paul, but I don't think you can hear us. Can you hear us?
Okay.
All right, let me log back out and come back in.
I can hear everything.
Okay.
We just got two Zoom bingos. Can you hear me? And I'm gonna log back in.
Next
So,
will be you're on mute.
Yes, that will be the next one.
so I'll just for the benefit of those on the phone. So there's a front pocket that you can put, I'll do it this way, that you can, store hot food, cold food, whatever you wanted to do. There is a back pocket that allows for charging of your phone. It's a small little device here in the middle and some pockets for your phone. And then the top of it being solar is how the charging comes about. And then the inside can hold up to, I believe it's 36 cans or, comparable. It's a nice piece. And Ashley did the research on this and came up with basically they would be roughly $75 after the initial setup fee. The initial setup is 175. Then there's a proof of 15. The logo, which would be the Dewey Beach logo, would be right here on the front. So it'd be in the circular area right there. And then the idea was if we wanted to reach out to the bars, restaurants, and entities, and if they wanted to add something, even if Delaware State Parks wanted to add something, it's a container that would hold quite a bit of stuff. Or if we don't have anything at all to add to it, it actually speaks very nicely in and of itself. So this is the recommendation from Ashley. Did you want to add anything? I see you now on screen, Miss Ashley.
Myself on maybe the car too. So the only other thing I would add, I did speak to Carol Everhart in the chamber, and also put the visitor guide stuff that they have as well in it. And then that bookmark that I made, it has the QR code. That's what we would also maybe put in it just from the town. That any newcomers could access our website by visiting that website after they scan that QR code of the little like bookmark that they can have to fix it to the beaches.
So I can't. We're not able to hear you.
Yeah, I got QR code.
QR code. Oh, I forgot that. Darn it all. I forgot the piece you gave me. I'm so sorry. The QR code. So actually, it's very garbled.
Yeah, it's a little tinny.
So I apologize. I also forgot a piece that Ashley gave me. It's a bookmark with a tassel that has a QR code on it that would direct, as we talked about the last meeting, that it would go directly to. Is that what you were trying to say? The QR code, that piece? Sorry. Okay. So yes, I have that as well. I'm sorry. And it's a nice laminated, larger card. It's a larger bookmark so that it holds a lot of information. And it also says at the bottom of it, if you don't know what a QR code is, you could certainly contact the town. They can get you any of the documents that are necessary. So that would also go in here. Did I miss any? Is that okay? I'm sorry.
I don't know if you can hear. If you can hear, the Chamber of Commerce has information as well.
Oh, that's
Okay,
good.
you can hear you now.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm in the passenger seat, so I'm leaning closer to my speaker on the driver's side. But the Chamber of Commerce, they also have information that they could add to it as well.
Oh, great.
Well,
Okay.
as Janine said, I think there's a lot of local organizations that would love to do things, to be doing inserts. I know there's
Absolutely.
Realtor Bags over in Rehoboth. We could definitely reach out to some of those different groups and create kind of a welcome packet of information and resources available.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say, Ashley, thank you so much, because I know you went through a lot to just try and find that like one special thing. So I think this is great. So thank you for all your work on this.
What is the thought for current residents? Would there be the ability, and I don't know if the town would be open to this, if you wanted one, could you buy one with the town of Dewey, the logo on it? Or what would we do when people see it and are so excited and want one?
Yes, we could sell them, sure.
Yeah.
As long as we're not competing against somebody else in town, I think it shouldn't be a problem. I'd have to refer it to the commissioners and to our town attorney to make sure, but I wouldn't see a problem.
That might be the way to address the residents that already are here, wanting one.
Sure.
Okay. So
I
do we
like it. I
need
think it's
to
great.
vote on this or do we need, what's,
Yeah, so just as we know, the agenda items actually discuss and possibly vote to approve the welcome pack item to be ordered to proceed with the project. So do we not need Commissioner?
we have to do the same thing then,
Is it a
recommend,
recommendation? Okay.
recommend to the commissioners.
Hey, Commissioner Bauer, have you had any discussions with the other commissioners on this? If there's an openness to it, what budget's going to come out of that kind of thing? Oh,
No, I have not, but, you know, I'm trying to remember how we used to fund this before. Bill, did you find anything on that, or Ashley?
I didn't. I think it used to come from the beach mats and
Yeah.
There was a marketing
All right,
budget
well,
years ago, right?
We can figure out where the funds are gonna come from, but as long as you recommend the package and we know what it's gonna cost, then we're approving the budgetary item.
how many are we planning to order? So you said what, 50 new residents?
I think Ashley, you were looking at like what? Well, I think it makes sense if there's a price point break.
Right, it's 75 for $74 per bag.
Okay, so
That's perfect.
I think you want to order some extras for residents. I also, do you have any concerns for actually keeping it somewhere? Because this is 75 of these bags would be a lot of bags. Is there any concerns with that?
I mean, if we have to, we could stick them in West Rehoboth, we could keep some upstairs, but we are very tight. in the
I know.
building. We got boxes stacked. Well, you can see we have the
Yeah.
lifeguard stuff stacked here.
Sure.
Is there any, I mean,
We'll
You'll figure it
find
out.
someplace to put. We'll make it happen.
Okay.
any other comments on this? I mean, do you want to make a motion? Oh,
I think it's a great piece. I think it speaks well for the town. And I think we'll see a lot of them around, which is great.
Yeah,
I love the charging element.
do I hear a motion?
I'll make a recommendation, make a motion to make a recommendation to the commissioners to approve a new welcome. I was trying to see what was on it. Yeah. A new welcome kit for our residents
At a cost of,
at a cost of $74.75 each with a one-time transfer of $175 with a virtual proof of $15.
there you go.
Plus extras for residents that want to buy.
Plus, yeah, but extras. Well,
This seems
my
like a lot.
motion, I was trying to make the motion just a recommendation to provide it to the commissioners that we approve.
Yeah, point of clarification, do we need the actual cost and the quantity, or can we just say?
You should have the amount that you want to spend. And Ashley, you're still on the amount that we want to recommend to the commissioners, correct? Well, maybe she doesn't hear me.
So the only question, the reason, and I'll come back and redo this, but Bill, the reason I wasn't going to go with the quantity was because you have to check and see if we can actually sell them, because if the answer is we can't sell them, then we don't want to have extra quantity, right? So if I make that, I'll make a motion that that the commissioners decide the quantity based upon,
Okay.
I mean, what do you think?
Well, I mean,
know we have
it's an administrative function once we approve the funding of it. Because this isn't just a one-time thing. This is hopefully something we do annually and we make it a budgeted item next year.
Right, I just didn't want to put a quantity in there to limit us if
Yeah.
we wanted to sell them. But we're not
Yeah, I
certain
mean-
whether or not we can.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know, I mean, how many houses are going to close this year? 10? We might have 75. I don't know how many houses are going to, I don't know how many extras we have already.
I think
I know there's only 6 houses for
How
sale
about
right
if we
now.
say,
so-
I'll say a minimum of 75, how's that? Okay,
Right.
all right, I'd like
Right.
to make a motion to recommend to the commissioners to order a minimum of 75 welcome bags at a cost of $74.75 each, plus the transfer cost and virtual proof prior to production of $175 and $15.
If you resend me that, thank you. Okay.
Excellent motion.
I'll
Do I hear a
second.
Okay. And then seconds, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Great.
It was a minimum of 75, yeah.
And then,
Here, I'll write it down for you and you can.
that'd be great.
I
Okay.
apologize. I have to hop off now, but are you guys good? If you have any questions, you can shoot me a text, but I have to go to an elementary talent show.
We're good. Have
That
fun.
was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, final open item is to discuss the idea and details of possibly hosting a Dewey Beach Community Fair. And Alex can provide an update.
Yeah, so last meeting, we discussed this idea of trying to incorporate the restaurant businesses in a fun function that would then also be a little bit more sprawling with the idea of a community fair. But we've had some discussion and also based on seeing that the Delaware State County Fair, how the origins of that fair began. In Sussex and Kent County, they wanted to promote the agricultural backgrounds and lineage that they had. So the thought process being, if we just narrow our scope and instead of trying to make this a community fair where we have rides and games, where we're then taking away a little bit from, as Kelly mentioned last week with the Dewey Business Partnerships, taking away with a little bit of some of the other events like the Artist Fair. It just becomes a little bit redundant. So if we focus solely on the restaurant aspects and make it more of a food and drink fair, we think that that could then work in partnership with the Dewey Beach Business Partnership and be a good attraction that still gets people involved with the community, as well as gives the restaurants a little bit of incentive because then they have bragging rights of, hey, we have the best crab cakes in the town or the best orange crush in the town, things like that.
I think it's a great idea. What, Alex, when were you thinking? Are you thinking spring next year?
Yeah, I think we would hopefully try to do this in the spring of next year. Obviously, knowing that it would be too hard to pull off this year with the logistics aspect. I think if not spring, you could always do fall of 2023. But the idea is hoping to get it on the books so that it could become an annual thing. Again, I would partner and we would talk with Kelly with Dewey Business Partnerships to make sure that we're not conflicting with any other event because we do want to obviously create this where we're giving more incentive for people to come down on weekends traditionally that they wouldn't have, but we don't want to cannibalize that by, again, competing with something else.
And Alex, what do you think if we were to tie it into one of the local farmers too? So for example, Pfeiffer's might provide asparagus and you have like a contest who can make the asparagus the best of the restaurants in town, just something to promote our kind of heritage and also kind of the local tourism here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great idea. So, fresh produce or even, fresh fruits. Again, if we're going back, circling to the crush idea, that could then really work out well where it's, hey, the theme is watermelon. So you have to come up with a watermelon crush and then, kind of almost like the idea of Chopped on Food Network and giving them a little bit creativity where it's not just everyone serving blah, 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 blah.
What does the rest of the committee think?
But would there be music?
Yeah, ideally we can hopefully get some live music too. Talk to a lot of the local musicians to help promote them. I mean, if we could ideally get several musicians to play for a half hour to an hour each so that they showcase themselves as where they play in the season, I think that could be really fun. And again, make it really that community aspect. Yeah.
Awesome. That's a great local band. How about the rest of the group? Any thoughts on this?
Does the Rudder still do their competition with the restaurants and the chefs that always benefited the Meals on Wheels? Because I remember, I don't remember if it was spring or fall, but they always did, what did they call it? Not like Celebrity Chef, but do you
Restaurant
remember?
Olympics?
No, it wasn't Restaurant Olympics.
Yeah.
They're doing it this Thursday at Ivy.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, Carmel. I read that in the Cape Gazette. The one difference I would say is that's usually pretty pricey. If I remember correctly, it's over $100 per ticket. So we would probably try to make this a little bit more affordable, and again, I'm not saying that this is the final number, but you're talking maybe a $40 to $50 ticket so that you're still getting people that are invested in it and not just coming to maybe necessarily try to get a little bit too silly and intoxicated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just think it should, like the timing, we should spread it far
Absolutely.
enough away from their event.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of be like around the corner from them too.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah,
I have a suggestion. Since it's really going to be the businesses footing the bill on this, right? They're the ones, spending the money to promote their products, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, our involvement is really from an organizational standpoint, some police presence from the town. I think maybe a logical step would be can we invite, have a meeting with the Dewey Business Partnership, have them come in, put some ideas out there, and then we can formulate some costs and when it would work for everybody. Maybe because we
Yeah.
might say, hey, April 15th, tax weekend, and we're going to have a big festival in Dewey of X, Y, and Z. Well, if that doesn't work because they don't have staff to support it, it doesn't matter what we want to throw if they're not participating. So I think we really have to get the businesses buy-in before we formulate what we're going to do on it, correct?
Yeah, Commissioner Bauer, I think that's a great idea. And I definitely think that that's how we have to proceed.
Yeah, let's have an interim meeting there. And I mean, we can start planning it now for the spring. But we can have a, just an informational kind of meeting to see what, sort of ideas they have, and then bring it back to our next committee meeting and say, hey, this is what the business partnership thinks. And, how does it benefit them? How does it benefit us? And how does it benefit our residents and visitors?
Yeah, perfect.
I think it's great. And I will tell you, Alex, when you brought it up last time, it's really the idea of what is a state fair, but just for Dewey, right? Like what brings the best of everything
Yep.
together. It's kind of fun. And I think it really does come down to the businesses' support. And I don't even know if you need to charge if the businesses are charging for their individual items. So it could be you can walk around and try a bunch of different things that you buy then.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's obviously two ways to go about it. We don't have to decide that now. You could either just do the general admission where you get access to everything, or you do individual, each business is charging X, Y, Z, and they set their own price.
Yep. And we can also invite Carol Everhart from the Chamber of Commerce to, get some feedback from them as well, so they can promote it for us.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And when you say Dewey Beach Partnership, we're including Highway 1, correct?
Correct. They're part of the partnership now.
Okay. All right.
Great. Okay, so there are no action items from that, so we won't be voting on anything, but I definitely, let's plan on, Commissioner Bauer, is it, we just lost you again.
No, I'm here.
Okay, good. We can't see you.
There I
But
am.
Commissioner Bauer, Alex, is that something you guys want to work on and maybe set up that initial discussion and we can, follow up and see what makes sense? How to
Yeah, let's arrange it through Kelly.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Sounds great. Thank you.
And I'll reach
Alex.
out to whenever whatever dates we're talking about, I'll invite Carol Everhart to it from the chamber.
Great. Okay, so any public comments? Is anyone dialed in? Okay, cool. Any additional member comments? Okay, great. Set next meeting date. Well, Commissioner Bauer and I spoke today, or touch bases, would say, and we normally are following our normal cadence. We don't meet during the summer. So the thought is that our next meeting would be October. We could come back and that would definitely be an agenda item. Does anyone have any issues with waiting that long? Is there anything from a town perspective, Bill, that you need input on?
Well,
No,
if we need to schedule one sooner, because of trying to put an event together in the spring, we can always, we don't have to
Yeah.
schedule that one now. We can schedule October and then put one in between if we need it.
makes sense to me.
Okay. Well, is there any, I mean, I don't have a calendar in front of me. I don't have my phone on me. Is there like I think the Tuesday's been working well for the group. Is that good? So let's pick a
Mhm.
Tuesday in October.
Usually the second or third.
Yeah, sure. What do you guys think of the 11th of October?
Works for me.
Okay. Carl, is that good for you?
yeah, I got nothing on my calendar right now, so.
Okay, either of me, but we'll make it work. And if we have something going on, I think we have time to reschedule. Okay, do any other comments? It is 6:06. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to
Motion
adjourn.
to adjourn.
Okay, we got, hey, Ellen, Alex is catching up. He's a fast buzzer. Do I hear a second?
There you go.
Oh, great. Yes, welcome to the group. Okay, so here we go. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great sunny Tuesday.
Thanks, Paul, for all the work on the sign.
Awesome.
Don't worry. Hey, thanks, everybody. Appreciate your time and efforts on these.
It's a great
Absolutely.
time. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, take
Good night,
care.
everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Done.
Who's the guy to the,
Am I off?